My name is Wendy Holloway. I'm going to be telling you about ADHD and a strategy called a three-pronged strategy that you can use to teach children that have ADHD. This strategy evaluates the child's individual needs, their strengths. It selects appropriate instructional practices for the child that's receiving special education, and it integrates appropriate practices within an individualized education program. This three-pronged strategy is implemented by integrating the components of academic instruction, behavioral interventions, and classroom accommodations. Individual needs are evaluated and tailored to the academic instruction. Students with ADHD really need structure in their lesson and the technique of using an introduction to the lesson, conducting a lesson, and a conclusion to the lesson can be very effective. Behavioral interventions are implemented at the start of class by stating expectations. Using praise throughout the lesson is very effective as well. Classroom accommodations can be very important in implementing the three-pronged strategy. This is implemented by assessing what is most beneficial for the student. For instance, does the student need to sit closer to the teacher? Does the student need to be in a space that's free from distraction? It all depends on the student's needs. Things that you might need to implement this strategy. Well, you first need time to plan your academic instruction and make sure that it's structured to fit the student's needs. Other items that you might need would depend upon what subject that you're teaching. For instance, if you're teaching math, you might need a calculator. You could use a calculator to help with math word problems, or use individual chalkboards to practice handwriting. For behavioral interventions, you might use behavioral contracts to work towards certain goals. For the third component, classroom accommodations, you could use items such as a pointer to keep visual track of words, egg timers, music, even changing the furniture up in the classroom could be used to implement this strategy. Prior knowledge that the students would need before you could implement this strategy. The most important piece of information the students would need to know before implementing this strategy would be the classroom expectations. These should be made clear to the students at the beginning of class, and the students should be reminded as needed. They need to know what is expected of their work and their behavior. Thank you.